Coming up next, I'm giving y'all a crazy story about an underground rapper who, let's just say, finds himself way too close to prison than he'd like to be. Stay tuned, y'all. JS Corner and the Prison Talk Show coming up. What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. Now, as per YouTube, I will not be disclosing this rapper, this underground rapper's real name and credentials. Because, hey, I don't want to get sued. But I'm going to give y'all this story. So, for the sake of YouTube, y'all, let's say this guy's name is Young Choppa from the Sticks. Yeah, y'all. And Young Choppa, he's pretty known. Even though he's underground, he's pretty known in the streets and, of course, in prison. Because the music that he puts out portrays himself to be a big gangster. He's even throwing gang signs up in a lot of his videos, y'all. So, it doesn't surprise me that Young Choppa would end up having a very, very hard bid. Well, stay tuned, y'all, and let's get into it. Let's get into how Young Choppa ended up in the prison system in the first place. So, Young Choppa, like I said, would do his rap videos, and he talking about smoking the dead and rolling up ops and spinning blocks, and he happened to have switchies in his videos and ARs and pumps and all types of crazy hardware. But I don't know who his manager was or if he had a manager, but he just seemed to have a lot of dumb niggas around him, let's say that would let this guy do a music video with real pieces. Yeah, y'all. Every one of the pieces that I just named, he had in this video, and it was real. So, in case y'all don't know, this is the Prison Talk Show, people. Don't do videos with real joints in your video, because the feds will come and have a nice little talk with you. Especially if you're a felon. They'll come and have a nice little chat with you. And they want to know what that about. What that be about. Yeah. So, Young Choppa, he in the video throwing it up, y'all. Throwing up all types of signs. He talking that talk. He talking crazy disrespectful. Now, I can't say which gang he disrespected, who he perpetrated to be, but y'all can see where this is going for Young Choppa already. He would have a video where he was aiming down the street at some ops, and he had a real switch on. And he actually let it off on the video, y'all. Now, there was no real ops down there. They just made it seem like it was. But there was no real ops down that way. There was nowhere, he wasn't aiming at anybody or anything. But still, this kind of action and illegal action out in the open, and you thought nobody was coming to see you? You thought you were just going to rack up views and just... what you thought this was about to be a Jay-Z? A Jeezy? Nah, man. He let that thing off in the video. It would take about 2 days before the feds was knocking on homeboy's door. Oh yeah, they had a full warrant and everything. They walked right up into his house. This idiot actually still had the joint with the switchy still attached in his bedroom. Now, let's get to that, y'all. His bedroom. That's a key word in this whole scenario. Bedroom. Most people from impoverished neighborhoods or, whatever you would say, not coming from money, don't have their own bedroom. They share a bedroom with their brothers, their sisters, whatever have you, their cousins. So, say this guy had a bedroom, you guys should already know this guy wasn't what he was saying he was. When they came to see him, they pulled up into a nice little college set with a big old house and about 4 or 5 other houses surrounding it. That's it. It wasn't a project building. It wasn't a big city street with hundreds of people. Nah, the average was about 10, maybe 15 people you would see on average in this little area, and that was normal. This guy came from a great life. He had 2 parents, both working. The guy didn't want for nothing. He wasn't poor. He wasn't starving by any means. This guy just gravitated toward the hood. He wanted to be bad. So he had the money to go and buy those illegal switchies and all them other things that was in the video. He had the money to fund his videos. He had the money to pay to get views and all that craziness that the rappers do nowadays. So he thought he could just go through life pushing his money and it would cover everything. Nah, homeboy, that's not the way the world works. Well, they explained to him very politely as they put his hands behind his back and told him he was under arrest and that anything he said could and would be used against him in a court of law. They advised him of his rights to counsel. And they asked if he had anything to say. And at least he said, no, I need my lawyer. At least he said that. But remember, people, we're talking about the FBI. They didn't need any more correspondence from him. They was giving him the benefit of the doubt of coming clean. They had enough on him already. They had been researching. They had been watching. They had been tailing. These guys don't play. What y'all think? The Men in Black is fake? Nah, when they want you, it's just like Fleece Johnson say. We want you, we got to have you. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. You choose. And well, most people choose the hard way. And the FBI has no problem playing ball. They said, listen, we already got you. We got you. We know everything that you've been doing out here. We already see the purchase you made on the street for those illegal joints in your video. We found the illegal joint in your bedroom. So, we're going to ask you one time and one time only. Is there anything that you're willing to do to walk away from this? Because in a heartbeat, we could just rip this up. We could delete this footage. We could act like this incident never ever happened. But we need you to help us. And it's right then and there that young Choppa's eyes lit up. His eyes lit up like a light bulb, y'all. And he said, help y'all how? And those FBI agents looked at each other and they looked at him. They said, oh, you know exactly how. You know exactly how you can help us. You've been placing yourself around some very dangerous people, around things that you shouldn't have any involvement with, a whole lifestyle that you've been faking. Now, we could do either thing. We could expose you for the phony, fake rapper that you are, and let everybody know on the next media outlet that, hey, listen, this guy comes from a good family. Everything he's saying in his rhymes are a lie. Or you can continue your bad boy persona and get us some information. And well, as y'all could probably already think, y'all, that's exactly what young Choppa did. He agreed to go out there and get them some information. So they was going to let him go, y'all. They let him go back into the hood and said, keep doing your videos. Keep playing around with your switches. They gave him his gun back, y'all. Pardon me. They said, keep going out there and doing what you do. Now, this is where the story is going to take a terrible, terrible turn for young Choppa. Now, after young Choppa accepted this stupid mission, it's a dummy mission, y'all. It's a suicide mission, obviously. After he accepted it, they took him back home in the early morning so nobody would be awake. Nobody would notice him re-entering his neighborhood. We talking 2, 3 in the morning. Now, next day, Choppa, he ready, y'all. He got one job and one job only. Stay out of prison. Because if he don't deliver, that's exactly where he going. But young Choppa has a problem. For one, he's not really a gang member. All them signs he was throwing up in his videos, he was faking. Him and all his boys, they all faking. They all act like they gang members, but they not. So that already posed a big problem. Second thing, he ain't plugged into the streets like that. People know him because of his rhymes and, the stuff he put online, but he ain't plugged in like that. So there's no way for him to find out what's going on in the streets and who's doing what to give any information. Now, this is where morality kicks in. The only people that young Choppa could think to snitch on was his own homies. Who else he gonna snitch on? He know he done gave them a couple of them joints he brought, and a couple of them been out there wilding out, doing things, snatching stuff from people and old ladies and running up at supermarkets in the parking lot and doing this and that and snatching cars, etc., etc. He only know the crimes that his own people been committing, y'all. And I guess to him, it was either them or him. And he chose them. So he would make it his point to find out as much as he could about what they had going on out there. Whether it was, drugs or robbery or whatever crime they was committing. He acted like he wanted in. So they decided they was going to let him in. Now, they had been doing stuff without him because they knew the type of family he came from and the lifestyle he had already, and he ain't need to do nothing crazy. He ain't need to go, run down on nobody and act like he was a goon or nothing like that. He ain't need all of that. But that's what he wanted, y'all. He wanted to be a bad boy. So they said, listen, here's a scoop. We've been, running up in houses, whether it's somebody home or not. And if their home is get down or lay down. Straight up. So he like, damn, well, how much y'all making? And like, shit, we making more than your last mixtape made, I tell you that. And they all laughing and stuff. Choppa like, yeah, I feel you. I'm saying, so what y'all be getting, like diamonds or gold or money, what y'all be getting? And you never know. We only run up in rich people's houses. So you never know what you're going to find. These people be having all types of stuff because they don't want to go to the bank. So you got to do your research first. And, and then that's how we go about it. You're like, yeah, yo, I'm down. Yeah, all right. Young Choppa down. They're like, Young Choppa from the sticks, he down the ride. Yeah. So they start, all right, so come back here tomorrow and we start putting plans together. Da. All right, bet. Choppa got a goddamn wire on, y'all. The feds is hearing every single thing that they're saying. Every time Choppa's around, is a wire around. And a fed listening. You can bet that. He going back to his room. And, they're like, did good. You're going to have to follow up on that. He's like, yeah. I'm going to follow up. I'll let y'all know what's good. And they're like, listen, if you think you're in too deep, give us a code word. Just say, my leg hurts. If you think you're in too deep and you need us to pull you out immediately, you need us to come and ride down on the situation, say your leg hurts. That's the only way we're going to know that you need help. You're like, all right, I get it. My leg hurts. Cool, I get it. So he goes home and, he contemplates and he thinks about all the events that just happened and what's going to happen. And he's just like, damn, I hope everything go okay, man. I really hope things go okay and I can walk away from this and nobody get hurt. Well, unfortunately, y'all, somebody will get hurt. As a matter of fact, a few people will get hurt. And yeah. At the end of the day, Choppa should have just stayed his ass in the suburbs. Young Choppa would go to that meeting, y'all. And his homies, they found a mark. They said they found a millionaire. And he lives right in town. And they said he was an old guy. It was going to be an easy mark. Now, supposedly they did their due diligence. They searched the place out. They said there was no bodyguards. Nothing. They said they saw cameras. And they said they saw cars in the driveway. But they didn't see a lot of movement going on. Never a lot of lights. Only ever one light on upstairs. And they said, this is the perfect place. I think dude is in there by himself. I don't think he got any family. So, that was the plan. Now, the feds are listening to all of this, y'all. They actually already know exactly the mark that they're talking about. And they're absolutely right. The guy is in there by himself. That's why there's only ever one light on. His wife previously passed away, and his kids moved far away. So he's just an old rich man in this big, big house by himself. So, plan is 2 in the front, 2 in the back. They enter simultaneously. They have to first scale over there's a big stone wall in front of the house. Well, the property rather. Scale over that. Then there's about, say, maybe from the entrance to the front door, about 200 yards, maybe 300. It was pretty far. Like, a mailman would have to drive to the front to deliver the mail type-ish. So, they scale the stone. They get over there. Now they tiptoeing around and they get up to the front. The other two guys do the same thing and they get up to the back. Now, once they get over that gate, y'all, now they gotta figure out how to get in the house without making too much commotion in case there is an alarm, which most definitely there's an alarm in a house that size. So, to their surprise, y'all, the door is open. And they're just like, well, maybe this guy he's old. Maybe he forgot to close the door by himself and he ain't set the alarm. So they walked right on in. When they walked into that door, y'all, a big old mastiff came walking from around the corner. This thing was huge, y'all. It looked like a beast, a bear dog. Thing locked eyes on one of them and start charging forward, barking. Rev, 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 rev. Running after him. They running, y'all. They running. Now they scrambling. Now, they panicking, y'all. This is supposed to be non-violent. Supposed to be in and out. Get the jewels, get the money, get the bag, bounce. They start popping shots off at the dog, Mastiff. Pow, pow, pow. They run around. This thing, he done bit one of them. Bit one of them in the leg. They're over there struggling, crying. Ah! Now, old man, he start making his way down the steps. He hear all the commotion. Who's in my house? Who's in my house? And they popping shots off, y'all. They trying to get the Mastiff up off of him. Pow, 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 pow. I mean, it's like a Wild West. Shots going from every direction. Nobody is paying attention. There's a lot of smoke in the air. Nobody's paying attention to what's going on. Everybody's just trying to get up out of that house as fast as they can. Now, Mastiff done got to the front door already, so they can't go back out the same way they came in. They running around. Now they run down to the basement. And they see there's a cellar door exit. So they're like, alright. One of them is holding the basement door closed so the Mastiff can't bust through it, while the other one is downstairs trying to get the cellar door exit open so they can get the heck up out of there. It's got a lock on it, y'all. From the inside, it's got a lock on it. So now he trying to find tools down there to bust it open. He find an axe. He down there beating on it. Bang, bang, bang. You just hear metal clanging, sparks flinging everywhere. Well, y'all go look it up, y'all. Mastiffs can be extremely heavy. I mean, upwards of 300-400 pounds, depending on the breed. This Mastiff put all his weight on that door. He bust that door open. Dude behind it went flying down the steps. Mastiff went running, charging down the steps. And dude that was trying to open up the lock, he ended up tossing the axe right at the Mastiff. Hit him square in his head. Boom! Stuck in his head. Mastiff laid out on the ground now. Dude runs upstairs. Now, young Choppa, He's already upstairs. Can y'all believe where young Choppa is, y'all? Young Choppa is hiding under a table, hoping that the dog don't get him. He's hiding, y'all. Now, the guy that got bit in the leg, he's alive. He made it, but he didn't get very far. He stayed right there in that crime scene. The guy that was trying to bust the lock open, that tossed the axe at the mastiff, he got away. And obviously he had to use brutal force to ensure his getaway. Now, young Choppa, well, it was very unfortunate for him because although the fact that the feds were listening, they didn't give him any permission to commit any crimes. And well, he was in the middle of committing a crime while recording for the FBI. He wasn't a police officer. He wasn't an undercover officer. He was simply supposed to be helping them gather information, not actively commit a crime. And well, when those shots was flying around trying to hit the mastiff, they hit that old rich man, y'all. And he sat there bleeding out on the stairs. Nobody tried to help him. Nobody called for the ambulance. Nobody even realized the old man had passed away on those steps. And because everything was on video recorder, young Choppa got blamed for that body. Yep. They couldn't prove who was doing the pow-powing, but they knew he was involved. And being that him and the other guy with the leg almost bitten off was the only two conspirators they had, well, they both ended up with a 15 to 25 year sentence. Yep, that meant young Choppa was not going to be up for parole until a mandatory 15-year sentence had been served. And that's where he entered the jail and prison system. I'm going to make this short and sweet for y'all. Young Choppa was never cut out to be a gangster. He was never cut out to be in the prison systems, y'all. So y'all can imagine with the little bit of clout that he had on the streets from his music and people actually believing he was a gangster, what happened to him in prison. As soon as he hit that prison yard, the gang started approaching him. What's up with all that shit you was throwing up in your video, cuz? What's up with all that, cuz? You said you a killer, huh? You said you a killer? Let me see what you talking about. Yeah, with that bee bite. What that bee about? Let me see. There was no way to avoid it, y'all. Young Choppa will go on to get his ass sliced up, beat down, and dragged around that prison. Every dorm they took him to, he wasn't safe. He had to end up in solitary confinement, away from y'all. Y'all goons that want to beat him down because he was a fake gangster. He went to PC, y'all. Protective custody. Yeah. Can you imagine being in protective custody for 15 years? Well, young Choppa did. Young Choppa said he would rather sit in that cell by himself, get them meals slid through that gate, wash up once a week, than to go out there and get his ass beat down every day. And sometimes that's just how it is, y'all. Stay out of the prison systems. If you scared, get a dog. Because ain't nobody coming to help you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. And if you don't got no money, if you don't got no commissary, oh, you walking alone. And sometimes Sometimes that money in commissary ain't even enough to save your ass if you come in there on bad charges. So, don't be out here committing felonies that you can't handle. If you can't handle the time, don't do the crime. You know what they say. And this goes out to all y'all popping them switchies. Oh, a lot of time come with them switchies. They don't play no type of games with y'all when it comes to letting it go. Alright, y'all. It's your boy JS Corner. This is the Prison Talk Show. Y'all get in the comment box. Let me know what y'all thought about this video. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll get back with you. I'm out.